So I'm in the middle of building the Metcalfe warehouse, brewery rather, kits. Example of where we're at, and the warehouse is the building I'm currently working on. Example of work in progress here. This building, here's one I made earlier, as they used to say on Blue Peter. Yeah, this isn't going to show up. Or maybe slightly. You can see one of the things I did was there's sort of an interior there which isn't part of the kit. And I downloaded a bunch of images, Google Images. These are interior shots of the warehouse since I'm in warehouse mode at the moment. And I put those as scenic breaks inside the building so that you can't just see straight through the building. No one's going to get close enough to be able to see the detail. Bits of wire underneath indicate that I have put some 1.5 volt lights inside, hooked up to a battery currently is the way of doing it. So there's a light here that will shine out of that lower doorway there. I've also glued in place a little pallet in there that's got some sacks on it. Again, never probably likely see that level of detail. So for the warehouse, I have stuck a brick sheet on the back, and because obviously if you go like that, the doorway will be, oops, excuse me for fumbling around, the doorway will be at the front so you'll be able to see through. And I'm trying to build an interior for the warehouse, so just bits of card, literally bits of card, bits of toothpick. Matchstick would be too big for N scale. Even this is too wide, I think. Just some shelving in there. This will be the lower floor, so it'll go in there somewhere. A bit like that. You'll be able to see some of it through the windows. There'll be the stanchions here, which is why I painted those black. It would appear that I picked it up when the glue's not dry yet. And again, the idea is put some lighting in the ground floor, and this is how I'm doing like the scenic breaks in the middle. As I said, just bits of picture glued onto the Metcalfe model itself. Then this one will sit right on the top there. Happens to have been pre-measured to be the same height as the space divider that came with the kit. And then the light will sit on the bottom side of this flooring, so it'll be on the roof. That's all I'm going to plan on doing. It's N scale. It's too small for a lot of fine detail. At least that's my personal philosophy. So I'll glue bits of card together like this, which I'm just using pen to color in. Hence the red and blue there correspond to these color pens. And this one will probably just go on the floor in there so that there's something, if you look through the door, which I'll glue open, there's something to see. I just think I'll put brick on the back there. I'm not going to plan on putting brick on these on the inside of every wall. Too fiddly. If I'd thought about it, I would have glued the brick paper before I put the windows in, because I would have just traced the windows on top. Here I've had to put the brick paper up against the wall, hold it up to the light, see where the windows are, and kind of trace roughly on here. So these are very crude shapes, nowhere near as accurate as I would otherwise like. So, but good enough for something that you're not really going to see at this level of detail. So that's me plan. We'll see how it turns out. This is going together now. I'm starting to glue the bits in place. I've added a couple of pillars down the middle there so that I could add something to glue the wires to, try and disguise them a little bit. And now sticking some interior to the white, so you won't be able to look right through and just see white inside. And I'll do the same on that side there. Put the third layer on and button this up and try the light. these are the lights that I'm putting in. 3 volt, 3 to 4 volt. Minitronic, I believe, is the company that makes them. Boy, is this light bright. I haven't buttoned it up yet, but we get a rough idea here. Whew. With the effect we're going for. Yeah, just a little bit of detail inside. I might put some pallets on the floor. It's just got some tape on the battery right now, which is why we don't have a very good connection there. So yeah, general idea. Like I said, I'll put some pallets on the floor now before I get to the point of actually gluing this shut. Well, we finished the models as far as basic construction goes. This is the one we did first. It's got the pallet of goods just inside the door and a 1.5 volt bulb in there. There's another 1.5 volt bulb in the top. And there's also on the underside of this roof some tin foil, because the 1.5 bulb is actually mounted in the floor pointing upwards, and it shines straight through the roof, so the tin foil in there reflects it down, and so that's not a problem. We've now finished this one, which is either a grain store or warehouse, can't remember which. And in this I had put some scenic brakes on the 2nd and 3rd floor, or 1st and 2nd if you're from the UK, I guess, so that if you look through the windows you don't see straight through out the other windows, and if you look through these windows you see brick at the end. Not sure what I need to do with this light yet. I may attach it to the roof. I haven't wired it up yet to know whether or not it shows through the roof in the same way that the other building did. So, and these ones are, I've got to write the voltage on the bottom. These ones are 3 volts lights. And then finally made up the office building that comes with, and given that these doors are about a scale 6 foot up in the air, made a disabled ramp on this door and a set of stairs on this door. Just bits of card coloured in with black felt tip pen, if you can tell or not. And I need to make some railings for that to finish that off. The other door that is on this building, which is way up in the air, I'm not going to make a ramp or anything for. I plan, not exactly sure which building it'll butt up against yet, but it's the same height as the platform, so I'm just going to butt this building up against one of the others, and that's how we'll deal with the door. And that will be about it. I'm now working on, this is a Graham Farish goods shed. This is going to become my clay works, and therefore decided to cover it in corrugated iron effect. This was a texture I found online. Just copied the texture file and sort of replicated it to make an A4 sheet of paper size, and then printed out on photo paper. So I'm in the process now of gluing this all together. We'll see how that turns out.